So more comfortable for sleeping this weekend. I think quite a chilly start in places on Sunday night, Sunday morning I should say, especially across parts of Scotland. Otherwise, actually less cloud around on Sunday, plenty of blue skies, dry for the vast majority. We keep the dry theme into next week. A bit of cloud around at times, but no discernible rainfall in the forecast.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
The GB News audience is different, it's unique, because they see through the nonsense.
We want to debate with each other, we want to listen and maybe learn.
We have a chat. That's what we do. We try and have a chat.
They'll watch my programme while they're eating their tea, they'll watch breakfast while they're busy getting their kids ready for school.
We want to hear what matters to you, what is news for you.
And what's brought you out here today? What are the biggest issues affecting this particular area?
The audience are the best thing about GB News.
Their friends, their family. They're people who need to have their voices heard.
They're passionate about the channel, they're passionate about what they believe in.
The one thing about GB News is you get a chance to speak.
Talk to me about why so many people have gathered here today.
Do you want to say something back in return? The GB News audience is what makes GB News special.
It's incredible to see.
They shape our programmes, they shape our output, and they shape our channel.
That's what makes us the fearless champion of Britain.
Tonight. Thank you very, very much. Well, it's 9 p.m. I'm Christys. Tonight, Anyone know what that is? Anyone? That was Keir Starmer's removal van pulling up outside Downing Street. Seriously, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. It was, absolutely seriously, yeah. But get ready for this loser. Like an awkward dad at a school disco, isn't it really? In other news...
Watch out, massive fatties, the Lard police are in town.
Well, not my words, of course, the words of Steve Miller, who used to present Fat Families, but hundreds of thousands of Brits are apparently now too fat to work. Plus... So, yes, a Gazan woman has brought 17 relatives to Britain. Is that it? You know, but, yeah, and I've got a solution to the Pakistani rape gang problem. Put them on the plane. Just put them on the plane and send them back to Pakistan. Yes, they are now, however, the Pakistani government are now blaming Britain for their own rapists. Also... Any Argentina fans in? No, didn't think so. Should FIFA ban the Argentina players who pose with the Falklands banner from the final? And...
Okay, are you being forced to wear that?
Are you?
I think that's a common question.
Yeah. And I like curiosity, that's a nice thing, but the element of ignorance just really winds me up.
So, Denmark has now banned the burqa from schools and universities. They are also pushing to ban the call to prayer. Should we be doing the same here? On my panel this evening, we have got former Conservative MP Anna Firth. We've got broadcasting royalty Christo Fufas. We've got the co-founder of the Together Declaration, Alan Miller. We've got everybody's favourite Labour MP for Brent West. It's Big Bad Barry Gardner. Oh, it's all right, actually. You can tell we've got a load of really new people in because there was actually a smattering of applause. That's good. Anyway, OK, get ready, Britain. Here we go. We got rid of Keir Starmer and replaced him with David Brent. Next.
Good evening. Your latest headlines from the GB newsroom. As you've just been hearing, Andy Burnham is the new leader of the Labour Party and is now just 3 days away from entering number 10.
That the duly elected leader of the Labour Party is Andy Burnham.
At a special conference in central London, Andy Burnham set out the first glimpse of what his premiership could look like. He promised a government focused on growth in every postcode, returning power to communities and creating a new Downing Street team in Manchester, known as Number 10 North.
Can be that party, the party that puts more power in people's hands, drives good growth in every postcode and puts hope in every heart, that gets the country pulling together again and moves beyond the divisions of recent years, all people and all places, public and private sectors, in a new sense of unity and common cause. That's my mission as your new leader, to bring back hope.
Well, reacting to Burnham's speech, the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, says he fears the government will lurch even further to the left.
I really question all this vacuous talk about devolution for its own sake, about power. He dares to talk about power being given away. What do you think membership of the European Union was? He wants to take us back even more closely to. I just wonder what the substance is, and I feel with him that the Labour Party, certainly the power of the backbenchers, will drag them even further to the left. And I can't see, the boats being solved. I can't see the debt crisis being solved. I can't see the economy turning around. I suspect he's going to have a very short honeymoon.
Also reacting to the future Prime Minister's speech, leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davies, says if Mr Burnham wants to deliver real change, his door is always open.
Well, we hope that the new Prime Minister meets the changes that we need in our country. I think people are impatient for change. Mr Burnham has said he wants to do politics differently, and that's what we believe. We've always argued that we need to get people around the table together working for the national interest and change our political system, which it really does need change. So if that's what he delivers, then my door is open.
The mother of Henry Novak's killer has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for removing a knife from the scene of the crime. 53-year-old Kieran Kaur was found guilty at Southampton Crown Court in May of assisting an offender. The prosecution told the court her role was crucial in removing the murder weapon from the scene, while her lawyers say she acted out of an instinctive desire to protect her child. And finally, legendary cricketer Sir Gary Sobers has sadly died at the age of 89. Barbados-born Sobers, who is widely regarded as one of the finest cricketers of all time, played for the West Indies for 20 years, making his first Test appearance in 1954 against England. A statement on West Indies cricket official X account simply said, "A great innings has come to an end." Well, those are your latest GB News headlines. More from me in an hour's time.
You can now watch GB News live across the United States of America and the world on Truth Plus. Scan the QR code to find out more, or visit gbnews.com/truth.
Great to see so many of you here, and we have got a huge amount to talk about. So on Monday, so the next time you see me broadcasting, Andy Burnham will be our new Prime Minister. Get ready for non-stop cringe.
I left the north again, I travelled south again. Well, there's a bit of a Smiths lyric there for you.
Oh, gosh, make it stop. He doesn't like taking questions unless it's from this guy.
Thank you very much for joining me. I imagine you're quite busy at the moment. How are you doing?
I'm good, Gary. Yeah, slightly busier week than normal, but looking forward to the game.
Yes, of course, Gary was supporting Argentina, unfortunately, but there we go. Burnham on Gary Lineker's podcast, Goal Hanger there. All he says is vague things like this.
This is Manchesterism.
Anyone? Anyone? No? Unfortunately for Andy Burnham, Manchester has seen actually the biggest fall in living standards out of the major cities in England, and parts of the city now resemble a scene from an open-air lunatic asylum. So there you go. Does Burnham want to tell some of these guys as well about Manchesterism? Just some scenes from Manchester there for the celebrations of Pakistan Independence Day. So, yeah, great. They are fully signed up to Manchesterism, aren't they? And look who he's appointed as his new Director of Strategy. It's a bloke called Matthew McGregor, who used to work for Hope Not Hate. So we're now going to have a political strategy drawn up by someone who used to work for a far-left organisation that published a piece online monitoring a list of areas found on social media supposedly targeted by the far right after Southport. Now, do you remember that list? OK, it's a list that sparked a load of refugee welcome protests everywhere. Oh, the night we saw off the far right Nazis. Remember that one? You know, it turned out that Hope Not Hate's chief executive Nick Lowles later confirmed that they'd found out the list was just a hoax. But, you know, it was all right anyway, because I suppose it got them the media attention they deserved. So anyway, we're going to be having a political strategy drawn up by this guy. Fantastic. He also just blames Thatcher for everything. And he said he wants to take us back to the 1970s. And he said it like that was a great thing. So what did we have in the 1970s? Let's have a think. High inflation, industrial unrest, the 3-day week, power cuts. Oh, I can't wait for the rolling blackouts, can you? Economic stagnation, IMF bailout, high unemployment, the winter of discontent. Oh, yeah, sell it to me, Andy. Fantastic. Most people see straight through Andy Burnham like comedian Russell Kane.
I had breakfast this morning and it wasn't London granolas or oats. I had Cocoa Pops. In gravy, would you believe? I said in gravy. It's my #1 goal is to seize power and to become the silverback. I will become the look. To just basically make sure everyone has access to the little wooden forks that you stab into chips. Vote Andy Burnham.
So true, isn't it? It's so true. It's such a damning indictment on Labour that none of the 411 MPs elected at the last election wanted to stand. No quality, is there? No quality. Apart from this guy, of course, but, you know, still didn't want to stand. But anyway, so far, all we know about him is that he might introduce a wealth tax. Be amazed to find out how many of you are classed as wealthy under Andy Burnham's wealth tax, and that number 10 North is set to cost tens of millions of pounds. Andy Burnham, in my view, is actually a very tragic figure. Like the bloke who thinks he's a cool dad, when in reality, he's just having a midlife crisis and needs to buy some proper clothes. Look at this. That's Burnham dancing badly to Manchester band New Order's True Faith there. Does it remind you of anyone? Yeah, classic. Ricky Gervais is David Brent in the office there, showing Burnham how it's done. The biggest advantage that Burnham has is that there are so many utter weirdos in politics that he looks borderline normal. On Monday morning, we will wake up to the least democratically elected Prime Minister in British history. So enjoy the weekend, everyone. But let's get the views of my panel and then we'll whiz it over to the audience. Yeah, so, Christo. Burnham, what do you make of the fact that on Monday, you know, there he is.
Do you know, the only thing that he's got going for him is out of all of them, he's able to string a sentence together. I mean, that's it. That's all he's able to do. Like, he's able to basically talk with some level of emotion. He's not like a robot like Keir Starmer. And that's about it. And what's frustrating is that he blames Thatcher for everything, right?
Oh, there we go.
But he wasn't blaming Thatcher when he was in the Tony Blair's cabinet, who were continuing Thatcher's, certainly her economic policies. He was quite happy to be quite a right-wing Labourite during that time. But then, of course, he's flip-flopped so many times since, we actually have no idea what he thinks of anything. All he's able to do, as Patrick pointed out, is come out with these ridiculous platitudes about bringing people together and making politics different and all of this absolute nonsense. And in this speech today, we heard about social care, his big plan for social care, right? Well, there was nothing in the manifesto about the way in which social care was being funded. So how is he able to do any of this stuff without it actually being, without calling another general election? And this number 10 North, I mean, it's just a total stunt. What an utter stunt. Yes,
I see what you're going for there. I see what you're going for.
Thank you. Thank you for getting
literally
that.
went over a few people's heads that, but I think when you really let into it the second time, mate.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just meaningless bureaucracy, and no one has looked at the problems of Britain and thought, yes, we need more bureaucracy. We need another layer of government in the north. So I just don't understand what he stands for. I just think we're going to get more envy taxes. I think we need a general election, and I think it's just more of the same moronic nonsense.
Well, there we go. We'll let Barry come in here. So, Barry, you posed proudly for a little selfie with Andy Burnham, didn't you? And I imagine your heart broke when you saw...
Where is it? I thought you were going to put it up on the screen.
I didn't want to humiliate you.
It wouldn't have?
Well, no, but it might in 6 months' time. but what did you make of Keir Starmer's removals van being there and Burnham in on Monday?
You know, after the stunning analysis which Christo just gave us...
Thank you.
I mean, the idea that Burnham, as part of the Blair government, was carrying out Thatcher's policies. I don't remember Thatcher initiating the minimum wage. I don't remember Thatcher actually introducing the Department for International Development. I don't remember Thatcher...
Do you know what I remember? I remember Gordon Brown deregulating the banks more than Thatcher, and I remember Margaret Thatcher...
So it wasn't the Thatcher policy, you just admitted
calling Tony Blair her biggest achievement. She said that the way in which she forced the Labour Party, which, by the way, Blair would never have become leader of the Labour Party had they not abolished Clause 4, which was their commitment to nationalisation at the time. Now, that was a cabinet that Burnham served in.
You know, the interesting thing is, so let's look at what one of Andy Burnham's most popular policies is. It's actually to take back into public ownership the water companies in this country. 88% of people, including 90% of Reform voters, actually want to see that happen. So the idea... So, look, it's not got to be Christo just didn't give you any fair analysis. Just look at what the guy is actually proposing, OK? He's proposing to do things like that, to take back control of our water companies. Well, thank God, because we can see the mess that they're making of it. We've had South East Water, what is it, 30 million, the fine they've just had for polluting the North Sea. Sorry, not the Channel, wasn't it? Not the North Sea.
Well, anyway, they can get their hands on it.
Yeah, anywhere they can get their hands on a river. So, you know, these are not Thatcher's policies, and they're actually popular. Look at what happened under the past Conservative government in terms of the complete crushing of local authorities. Now, to give back power to local people in this country is something that actually a lot of local people will welcome, to actually enable them to say, you know what, if you're a big Amazon depot, your business rate will be higher than if you're, a small local family business. That's one of the policies that he's talking about. So actually having that power at local authority level to differentiate the tax rates, the local business rates, to actually boost small family businesses, that's a good thing. It's about entrepreneurship.
All right, good stuff. So the headline today, Anna, and then we'll go to Alan, was about, Burnham sale. Go back to the 1970s. What do you make of that?
What's amazing is that we've actually heard more from Barry about what Burnham stands for than we heard from Burnham himself.
I'm just quoting what he's already said.
Yeah,
I'm quoting what he's already said.
I listened to this, the whole of his speech today, and I thought he's been elected now for a whole month. Surely we will have moved beyond the platitudes. We will have moved beyond the sound bites. Not a bit of it. I was expecting, what are the big problems that face our country? The debt, £100,000 per household. The welfare bill, £333 billion. Defence, immigration. Do we know what Andy Burnham is going to do about any of that? No. Why not? Because it wasn't mentioned. It wasn't mentioned this time, it wasn't mentioned the time before, and it wasn't mentioned the time before. And the other thing that I have a real problem with, I'm sorry, he is a bottler. This is bottler Burnham. You have got, the first thing a Prime Minister has got to be able to do is stand their ground and answer questions. He's been elected now for a month and he's only taken questions from Gary Lineker. That's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic.
I'll bring you in here. I mean, a couple of things there, cozying up to Gary Lineker. Apparently, the rumour tonight is that Angela Rayner's going to be the health secretary, which is interesting because she did actually sue the NHS at one point. So I suppose she knows a thing or two about that.
She knows about vaping.
She does know about vaping, yeah. It obviously is apparently his new director of political strategy used to work for Hope Not Hate. So what do you make of the potential for Burnham here on Monday, Prime Minister Burnham?
Well, I think one of the big problems, and it's a travesty, is that someone who's got 25,000 votes has not got a mandate to be Prime Minister, and here we find ourselves. And even if he had fantastic ideas, that would still be a problem. But, there's a lot of claims made for the King of the North, our Andy. But actually, if you take it outside central Manchester on a lot of the metrics, that's not been the case. 7% actually across Manchester in residents' purchasing power has been decreased. They've had a whole series of issues with crime. And whilst, as it happens, Sir Stephen Watson's actually very good. He said he's not going to take the knee. He doesn't believe in woke policing. They're still down on metrics with having loads of things that were not recorded before properly. In housing, they've got a myriad of problems. If you look at areas outside just the Manchester Central area, in places like Bury, Tameside, in Wigan, we've got a real crisis there. Homelessness was a big, you know, like Sadiq Khan promised all these houses, homelessness was going to get resolved by the King of the North. But there again, on that metric, it's not there. But we've got a lot of spin. And then the big idea, what's the big idea? To resuscitate the carcass of the 70s. You know, if that is going to be the solution to Britain, that really needs dynamic wealth creation, productive growth. As it happens, the British economy's been sluggish from the 70s onwards. And what we really need is investment in infrastructure, but allowing the entrepreneurial class to develop, not having hundreds of thousands of people leaving because of the tax burden that this government's put on them, and he's saying he's going to increase. How are we going to incentivise people to be in Britain, to set up businesses, when you can't actually make money from doing it? Instead, we've got these punitive taxes. And look, we've just had a whole campaign to fight for our family farmers and food security in Britain together, and saying there shouldn't be a death tax with IHT on them. And we won that somewhat, not entirely. And here we find someone saying this is what we're going to impose on you. Once again, without a mandate, 25,000 people. I think it's shocking. And we're going to see, I think, lots of pushback against that. On top of that, it's always opaque. You never really know what he means, because he says, on the one hand, even though he was the national ID, responsible for national ID rollout under Tony Blair, he did say he didn't really think it was the right time now to do that. Yet, at the same time, what that really means is, will it happen still? You never get a clear answer from him, because it's always seeming to be couching.
We're going to park it there. We'll return to Burnham later on. Obviously, he'll be on some front pages as well. Yeah, well, yeah, because he'll be all over the front pages as well, won't he, and everything? And also, I just want to play yet more of that removals van outside Downing.
Oh, not the dancing.
Not the dance. Well, we might do the dancing. Unfortunately for you, Christys, it's not Madonna. So, anyway, right. It's time now for the Great British Giveaway, and it's your chance to win £60,000 and loads more. Here's Hayley Sparks with all the details.
We're celebrating a golden summer, as you could win a totally tax-free £60,000 in cash to spend on anything you like. Imagine all of the fun you could have this year with that. You could spend it on treats, save it for a rainy day, or give you the chance to chill out and relax on the perfect getaway. Plus, we're going to give you a £5,000 gold bar that you could keep, trade, or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. You really could be enjoying gold and £60,000 cash in our golden summer celebration.
For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
OK, well, apparently a new study has found that more than 600,000 people in Britain are out of work purely because of obesity. But is it the government's job to intervene in this? How do we fix that problem? Patrick Christys tonight on GB News.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories. And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much. Special shout out to some of the furthest travelled this evening. Devon, Alicante as well. Good. Worcester, not as far as Alicante, but still great. Thank you very much. So, yeah, look, we've got loads on tonight. We are going to be talking now about this.
Watch out, massive fatties. The lard police are in town.
I can't believe they ever let that show out on national television. It's unbelievable. But more than 600,000 people in Britain may be out of work purely because of obesity. That's according to new research from the University of York. Official data shows that 15 million adults in Britain are obese, apparently, and the researchers found that around 4 of every 100 obese people were likely to be unemployed solely because of their body weight. The government is actively exploring expanding access to weight loss treatments. But is it down to the state to intervene? So I feel like whoever I go to first on this is going to be really offended. So this is just at random. Barry. Barry, what do you make of this? How do we solve this particular crisis?
There's an issue that will no doubt be aired about personal freedom. Well, it's up to you if you want to eat and not exercise to the extent that you get obese. But then you've got to say, well, who pays for it? Well, you pay for it because it may shorten your life, but so do all the rest of us as taxpayers, because you then come to the NHS and you then say, well, hang on, I need somebody to help me with my obesity. I need Ozempic, or I need one of these drugs, or I need one of the bands they put on. So the question then is, well, what's it costing to the NHS? Then there's the other question about if these people are no longer able to work because of their clinical obesity, then actually it's a cost to the economy as well. So if you want to say government shouldn't intervene and tell people, actually, you know, you need to take care of yourself better and encourage them to do that, if you say government should intervene at the front end, then why aren't you saying, well, they shouldn't intervene at the back end either? So I think, yes, government does have a role here. It's just about trying to make sure that we have an economy where people are not coming to us with problems that all the rest of us have to pay for.
No, I fully understand, by the way, that there are, there's some people who've got things like eating disorders or some genetic conditions or medical conditions that mean that you gain weight a lot quicker, etc. So, we're not talking about any of those people. But I'm just going to kind of put this side of it up. I'll ask this to you, Anna. If someone is obese to the point where they can't work anymore and they have to claim benefits purely because of their own free will to keep eating,
should they get benefits?
Well, I think that's actually really, really difficult because I suspect by the time someone has got incredibly obese like that, then they are probably mentally very depressed as well. So I'm actually going to take a more practical attitude to this. You know, my normal view is that, you know, we can all move more, we can all go for walks, it's hard to lose weight, but you can do it. And look at all of you guys. I mean, you all look like you're in fantastic form.
Spring chickens, every single one of them.
But I did say...
Look at this.
But I
tell you what, compare this to the question time audience, where they're all...
Let's get my point
they have to be winched in, like zoo animals. Sorry, carry on.
Let me just get my boring point out, Patrick. So I did a bit of research, though, on the train coming up. Turns out, according to Google, a universal credit means that someone could be on £400 to £500 a month, plus probably a whole load of other benefits, housing benefits as well. The NHS can get these weight loss jabs for as cheap as £75 for a month. So just do the maths, you know? These people should be on the weight loss jab. I think these are the people it was probably designed for. And, OK, we can't actually just jab them. And we might want to, but we can't just force the jabs on them. But let's offer it...
Was anyone suggesting that?
Offer it as a pilot. Let's take a few people, do a pilot. If it saves us money, I think that is the way to go.
Oh, brilliant. OK, sorry, I didn't realise anyone had the microphone here. So thank you very much. There's been a lady very patiently waiting here to ask a question, and there's another lady on the front row who wants one. So you go first. Yes, what would you like to say?
Just a comment that they've done this before. They said there was about 1 million people in hospital that were obese, and a doctor had to phone in and said they weren't in because of obesity. So this...
Oh, so they were in with something else.
600,000. There aren't 600,000 people so obese they can't work.
Yeah.
It's just manipulating the figures.
Oh, so you think...
really, I'm just saying they've got farmers, they've got the fishing industry, and now they're going for fat people. All the Fs.
Oh, right, OK. I love it. You know what? You just never know what you're going to get, do you? And on that note, lady on the front row, what would you like to say?
I was just going to ask, somebody mentioned depression. Would you think that's going to get worse with the state that financial insecurity, and people can't find jobs, particularly youngsters, they're staying at home. Do you think that obesity is going to get worse due to those sort of factors?
That's a good question. Burgers for Burnham.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, because we'll all start stuffing ourselves with them. Look, I have been the fattest person going, you know, for years. I've been slim in my life. I have gone up and down in my weight so many times that I feel like I know a bit about this. And the thing there's a couple of things here. Firstly, very quickly, the state does have a role in as much as we have been lied to in the most horrific way when it comes to the quality of our food for years. For years we were told like processed meals, low fat written on the outside was the best thing for us, and actually fat that you get in butter and those sorts of things were terrible things, and the fat in meat was terrible, and actually when in actual fact it's sugar that's the worst possible thing. And while governments have a role in regulating cigarettes, you can't sell cigarettes with healthy cigarettes written on the front, but food has been sold for years which is completely processed and completely horrific without adequate labelling and warnings. So that is where the state...
Is that why you went up and down, Christo? Because the labelling was no good?
Well, partly. No, but actually I would say partly. Partly as well, because what is more important that we need to recognise here is that for some people it's just self-control, without a doubt. They just don't have any self-control. But if you are drinking to the point where you are damaging your body and you can't work, we see it as alcoholism. If you're taking drugs to the point where you are damaging your body and you can't work, it is an addiction that we see as a problem. Now imagine you have that addiction with food, but you still have to have a brandy at breakfast, a brandy at lunch and a brandy at dinner. Do you know what I mean? If you were an alcoholic, you still had to do that. You would not be able to function. So food, I think, is the worst of all of them. Now, if the state isn't going to intervene with labelling and the quality of our food, they should intervene by just giving people the jab.
Exactly.
There is no reason why people shouldn't have the jab.
Yep.
Nowadays, there is no reason why people shouldn't be fat, should be fat, but we do need to recognise it's for a lot of people a mental health problem, and it's a symptom of something else rather than that they're just fat and lazy.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we're in agreement.
Well, there's been a whole change in how we live. So when you've got sports at school, or even children walking to school, and that got stopped because parents are obviously obsessing quite a lot. Helicopter parenting, taking them in cars. We have far less manual work and labour. A lot of those things go on. There are concerns, and this is why in America with Maha and Robert Kennedy Jr. and others have all been making the point about labelling, and also about, you know, what they call whole foods or local foods and where you can get it. One of the problems is it's seen as it's a bit of a posh thing. Obviously, when you get some of that food, it's much more expensive now. One of the problems in some of the supermarkets is you think you're getting bread, and as you say, it's all sugar in there. So, you know, when I was growing up, there were fruit and veg stalls and you could get your local stuff. But there's another thing, right? There is a thing about a bit more of a robust individual and being active. I find it really ironic as well when Chris Whitty warns everyone now that, you know, we've got working from home now is dangerous. Someone who was an advocate of lockdowns and getting everyone in the home, which, by the way, made our NHS numbers go up to over 7 million people waiting, as well as the quantitative easing and all the assaults and everyone there. So I'm a little bit nervous about the nanny state trying to coach us, because it seems they've got ever more interventions in our private lives, and yet they can't do things like infrastructure, hospitals, frontline staff, and get efficiency in the NHS. And instead they want to regulate our personal behaviour. But there is a thing about old British stoicism, and I think the addiction narrative has got a bit big. It seems like everyone's addicted to everything. I'm not saying
they're too fat.
They're not, yeah, exactly. Got too obese. It's like everyone, you know, you go shopping a bit too much, you're a shopping addict. Everyone's an addict, as though somehow these things just happen to us and we haven't got agency and conscious decision-making, or bad decisions and shame that we live with. But I am nervous about the state doing too much and issuing jabs. There's also some concerns with some of the pills.
We've got to go.
You know,
We've got to go. Sorry, but I want to go because I need to leave time for the next two topics that we've got in this hour as well, which I think are pretty good ones. So, Britain, will it follow Denmark, which apparently today banned the burqa in schools and universities? It came after they had a massive push to try to ban the call to prayer as well. So we're going to be talking about that when we come back in just a second.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Loads of sunshine around the Mediterranean at the moment. The heat's really focused across Italy, but we are going to see temperatures rising in Spain once more next week. Pretty hot and sunny across most of the Greek islands currently too. There's that hot sunshine across Italy. Small chance of one or two isolated thundery showers across the far north. Sunny skies for most of Spain. Sunny spells for the Canaries as well. The temperatures will be dipping a little bit in Rome over the next few days, but plenty more sunshine to come.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hi there, welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. A very pleasant, dry, sunny and warm weekend to come, but a little more cloud at times and certainly a cooler feel. We're going to notice that, especially where we've seen temperatures into the high 20s, 30, 31 Celsius during recent days. Those temperatures down a few degrees because high pressure drifting out to the northwest will drag in something a little fresher from the north and the east. It's already happening across northern Scotland, eastern England. A lot of low clouds, some light showers, and that fresh breeze noticeable overnight. In fact, temperatures in some sheltered parts of Scotland dipping well into the single figures overnight. Keep the warmth for Wales, west and south parts of England. So a warm start here first thing, temperatures rising through the morning, but not to the same degree as recent days. Northern Scotland keeps the cloud during the morning, further light showers coming in on that stiff breeze, but coming to the central belt, south and southwest of Scotland and much of Northern Ireland away from the north coast, and it's sunny skies once again. More extensive cloud for northern and eastern England. That's going to take a bit longer to lift and break through the morning compared with recent mornings, but plenty of sunshine for many parts of Wales, central southern and southwest England. In fact, it's towards the south and southwest where we'll see the best of the sunshine, also parts of central Scotland. Otherwise, a bit more cloud in the sky through the afternoon, certainly through the Midlands, parts of Wales, the east and north coast. and a cooler feel. That's the most notable thing. Rather than 30 Celsius, we'll see highs of 27 Celsius and more widely low to mid-20s. So more comfortable for sleeping this weekend. I think quite a chilly start in places on Sunday night, a Sunday morning I should say, especially across parts of Scotland. Otherwise, actually less cloud around on Sunday, plenty of blue skies, dry for the vast majority. We keep the dry theme into next week. A bit of cloud around at times, but no discernible rainfall in the forecast.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Everybody, thank you very much. So, Denmark has announced plans to ban burqas in schools and on university campuses as part of its battle against what it is calling parallel societies, after unveiling plans to also outlaw the call to prayer. A ban on full face coverings in public was introduced in 2018, with those who repeatedly break the rules facing a hefty fine, although there is an obvious issue at play there, isn't there? How do you know who they are? Anyway, the interesting thing here, though, is that these decisions are all being championed not by a far-right Danish government, but by a centre-left coalition, which includes the Green Party. So, should Britain follow Denmark and ban the burqa in educational settings? Alan, I'll start with you.
Well, I think there's an argument for not having face coverings in schools and universities. I think that one of the things about teaching is being engaged with your pupils and facial recognition in the human sense, not the digital ID sense, and that's important. You need to be able to interact and see responses. They've already banned them in public spaces, and I don't think that banning the burqa in public spaces for everyone is the right thing to do in Britain. I think it hasn't particularly worked in France. If you see what's happened there, what it's meant is a lot of women are then kept in the home, as it happens, and they haven't been allowed to come out. There's wider issues about how you have to address that with things like our own values and winning people over to that, questions about other things like migration, all those questions about that we have a discussion about our nationality, civic values. I would be more for guidance as opposed to an outright law, but I'd be up for being convinced on that, because obviously people say you do guidance and people might ignore it. But so I do think there's a role for doing that in education.
Anna, your views on this?
I absolutely think we should be banning the burqa in schools. And France, it's not just Denmark that's done it. France has done it. Austria has done it. Parts of Switzerland have done it as well. I think if you have a lot of immigration into your country, which we have had, the flip side of that is that you must have a muscular integration policy to go alongside it. And communicating openly and children seeing each other's faces is part of our British culture, and we should protect that and we should insist upon it in schools.
All right.
Okay.
Top on the front row. We'll go to Barry. Sir, what I'd say.
I think one of the biggest reasons against it prevents integration in society, because you can't recognise who they are. And again, facial features are really important when you talk to someone.
Speak more into the microphone, sir, sorry. Point it towards your mouth, yes.
I think it prevents integration in society because you don't know at times who you're talking to. Equally, facial expressions are really important because if you get positive facial expressions, you're more likely to engage with people. If you can't see people's expressions, it's very difficult to continue the conversation.
And yeah, thank you very much. And Barry, I mean, there's an obvious example. I mean, this wasn't a burqa, this was a headscarf. It was Sarah Sharif, the really young girl who obviously suffered horrific domestic abuse, was killed by her parents. Social workers couldn't or wouldn't see the extent of her injury because they didn't want to look under a headscarf. So obviously, if you extrapolate that out, burqa, similar setup.
I think the gentleman there has got a very good point. It's about communication, it's about openness and transparency and how we engage with other people in society. Look, as many of you will know, I have a constituency that has got a large Muslim population. It's not a majority by any means, but probably about 25%. In none of our schools do children wear the burqa, right? Not in any of them. The reason there, of course, is because each school sets its own policy, its own uniform policy. So we don't need to ban the burqa, we just need to have sensible uniform policies in schools about what children are allowed to wear, and that's what actually currently is the place.
Sorry, just to clarify on that, some teachers do wear it.
Yeah. Well, I'm simply saying my experience in a multicultural constituency in London. I don't agree with the ban to a call to prayer. I love the sound of church bells. They've been calling me to prayer for all of my life.
5 times a day.
And I would hate to see church bells banned. So I
Can I just say with that? Sorry, it's not the same thing.
No, it's not.
And that was in it when we first did the discussion. Church bells are not the same. Also, church bells are in a Christian country British. They are. Yeah. They are. We have not traditionally had the azar blaring out of a minaret at 5 o'clock in the morning.
It was a light-hearted comment. If you didn't understand that, Patrick, I was.
But people have been taking it seriously, Barry. They say, "Oh, it's a lovely melodic thing." Well, not to everyone.
Look, I mean, the point is, if you are going to say that you ban the call to prayer for one faith, you end up then saying, well, what about the other faiths? Are you discriminating? Are you doing that?
Barry, because my point is that we have a right to protect and enhance our British culture. And we are a Christian country, and as Patrick says, church bells is part of our Christian heritage and culture.
You know what, I really... I really wish that all the people that wanted to protect our Christian culture went to church every Sunday.
So do I.
Unfortunately, they don't.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, they don't.
But the issue is whether we like the sound of the bells, which we do.
The point is, I'd far rather people were living by Christian values. I'd far rather people were living to love their neighbour and to have the fruits of the Spirit than I would that they were worried about, cutting off anybody else's call to prayer. I'm very happy with people having whatever faith they want to, okay? Mine happens to be Christian, but I'm very happy for people to have the Muslim faith, the Hindu faith, the Jewish faith.
But that's not the point we're discussing, Barry.
Oh, it is, because what you're saying is that they should not be allowed to have their faith interfere with our public space.
No, I'm not saying that. I am saying we should protect our Christian culture. They should have their Muslim faith.
Their call to prayer does not attack our Christian culture in any way.
Sorry, Barry, sometimes it wakes you up in the morning, and that is quite annoying, actually. So there is that, isn't there? But, right, look, when we come back, Argentine president has said that the government is getting closer to recovering the Falklands. But should his country now be banned from the World Cup final for their political stunt? Stunt, Christos, stunt. Anyway, we'll talk about it when we come back.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
What do you think about where we're going to get our future athletes and our Olympians from when we're telling our children, oh, you can't go out and partake in sports today because it's a bit hot?
It really worries me. We have a generation that spend their life being very inactive, an awful lot of time on mobile telephones, coming up with every excuse as to not to move and not to be moving. Sport in schools is where we can catch every kid. And the kids that will lose out are the kids that come from areas of deprivation, because the parents that can afford to make sure their children do sport will still do that, but the parents that can't afford, sadly, will miss out. So it's really important that our kids, do enough physical activity, lay down these habits, understand about how their body works and nutrition and food and looking after themselves and health. We have a health crisis. It's really important we start early.
The People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
GB News entertainment editor Alex Davies joins us now. What a woman, what a voice, what an incredible life. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, like you said, she's a singer whose songs have transcended generations, really. Everybody knows Total Eclipse of the Heart. Everybody knows Holding Out for a Hero. She's been awarded an MBE. She represented the UK at Eurovision. And it's just very sad. Tributes have already started to pour in from across the showbiz world and just fans in general, This is somebody who's, like I said, transcended generations with her music and will continue to do so posthumously.
Well,
so much. I met her just once in a green room. She was an absolute delight, and even speaking, she had that great rasping voice.
Oh, what an incredible voice.
Incredible voice.
GB News, the People's Channel. Britain's newsroom, weekday mornings from 9:30.
So you go along to the car showroom and only like 10%, at most maybe 15, pay cash. The rest buy it on some form of financing. And you often buy, it's a bit like a mortgage, and it's like buying a mortgage from the estate agent, which we all know is a terribly bad idea. But this is what people did. And the deal is, the scandal is, the guys in the showroom were acting as dealers and brokers, and they were in many cases inflating the interest rate that you paid so that they could get bigger commission. And they didn't declare that. So you basically ended up paying more for your car than you would otherwise have done if you'd gone into the open market and found yourself, a better deal.
How did that come to light?
Well, over many years. I mean, this has been going on since 2007.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Into England's third-place playoff game with France tomorrow. But, look, the Argentinians are saying now that they are closer than ever to recovering the Falkland Islands. Firstly, we did have a war over it, lads. And secondly, you never actually had it, did you? So there is that. But the Argentinian players, there's calls for them to be banned, some of these people, from the World Cup final for unveiling this particular thing, Las Malvinas, Sons, whatever, saying that the Falklands are theirs. So should they be banned? Christo, you're fuming with the Argentines, aren't you?
Yes, because they are snide, filthy, dirty little cheats. And this is yet another example of them just not following the rules. The number of times that we were fouled during that game, and I'm sorry, they will deny this, obviously, but I think that FIFA are utterly corrupt, because, I'm sorry, how is it possible that there was not one VAR check during that whole game? Argentina were elbowing us in the back of the head. They were stamping on us. I'm sorry, if you have to have that hollow win by being snide, filthy, dirty, greasy little cheats, well then fine, have that win. And the Falklands, I'm sorry you can't get over the Falklands because we whipped your backsides. We should be invading Argentina. Let's go in there, just get over there and invade them. Because and I honestly think going forward we should withdraw from the World Cup. I don't think we should do any of these games anymore, because if the referees are that corrupt and if FIFA is that far up Argentina's backside, there is no point in us ever competing again.
All right. I enjoyed it. The scale of the lawsuit we're about to get from both FIFA and Argentina will basically be the end of us. So I think I just have to say that FIFA would deny that they are...
I did say that.
Yeah. But I think he said it again. So FIFA would deny being monstrously corrupt. And I think the Argentinians would push back on, especially them being greasy. But anyway,
what, did you see them? Right,
there's a chap We're going to have to be very quick here, Steve. I want to get you in because you've got a bit of a memento with you, haven't you? So, yeah.
Oh, from the World Cup in 1966.
Yes.
I was at that match, and I still have the ticket, and it's right here next to me.
Go on, then.
The ticket. Anyway,
show it to us.
Let's see it.
It is not in the best of condition, but there it is.
Right.
This is 60 years old. I was 19 at the time, and I bought the ticket outside the ground. I was with friends who had tickets. They all went in, left me outside. I bought this ticket off a ticket tout outside the ground, and if you look at the price printed on the front of the ticket there, it says 10 shillings.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I paid 4 times the face value of this ticket. It cost me £2 to watch the World Cup in 19...
He's still angry about being ripped off.
And I was...
Well done, mate. Thank you very much.
What a rip-off.
Look, that's just about it for this hour. When we come back, we're going to be talking about absolutely loads more stuff. There we go. Stay tuned.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hi there, welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. A very pleasant, dry, sunny and warm weekend to come, but a little more cloud at times and certainly a cooler feel. We're going to notice that, especially where we've seen temperatures into the high 20s, 30, 31 Celsius during recent days. Those temperatures down a few degrees because high pressure drifting out to the northwest will drag in something a little fresher from the north and the east. It's already happening across northern Scotland, eastern England, a lot of low clouds, some light showers, and that fresh breeze noticeable overnight. In fact, temperatures in some sheltered parts of Scotland dipping well into the single figures overnight. Keep the warmth for Wales, west and south parts of England. So a warm start here first thing, temperatures rising through the morning, but not to the same degree as recent days. Northern Scotland keeps the cloud during the morning, further light showers coming in on that stiff breeze, but coming to the central belt, south and southwest of Scotland and much of Northern Ireland away from the north coast, and it's sunny skies once again. More extensive cloud for northern and eastern England. That's going to take a bit longer to lift and break through the morning compared with recent mornings, but plenty of sunshine for many parts of Wales, central southern and southwest England. In fact, it's towards the south and southwest where we'll see the best of the sunshine, also parts of central Scotland. Otherwise, a bit more cloud in the sky through the afternoon, certainly through the Midlands, parts of Wales, the east and north coast. And a cooler feel, that's the most noticeable thing. Rather than 30 Celsius, we'll see highs of 27 Celsius and more widely low to mid-20s. So more comfortable for sleeping this weekend. I think quite a chilly start in places on Sunday night, a Sunday morning I should say, especially across parts of Scotland. Otherwise, actually less cloud around on Sunday, plenty of blue skies, dry for the vast majority. We keep the dry theme into next week. A bit of cloud around at times, but no discernible rainfall in the forecast.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
It's the Great British Giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry starts at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored. Very, very racist tonight on the
unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Hello everyone, good evening, thank you very much, thank you. Right, okay, so it's 10 p.m, I'm Patrick Christys tonight. Yes, that's a glorious sight. Drink it in, everybody. Keir Starmer's removal van has arrived on Downing Street. Oh, it's just brilliant, isn't it? Oh, great. I wonder what's in his possessions, that are just taken away. We better not joke. But get ready for this loser. Yeah, come on, guys, I'm super cool. Yeah, anyone? No? OK, fine. Yeah, it's just David Brent, isn't it? In other news... A Gaza woman has brought 17 relatives to Britain. No, I think I've got 17 relatives, actually. But there we go. And I have got an answer to the Pakistani rape gang problem. Yes, that's right. We did, of course, allow Pakistani international airlines to start flying to and from Heathrow again. So, doesn't take a genius to work out what we could do. And I say this because Pakistan are now remarkably blaming Britain for their own rapists. Also... Well, expect some of this stuff to be on tomorrow's newspaper front pages. Will FIFA make a decision to ban some of the Argentine players for their Falklands ban? I mean, the answer's going to be no, isn't it? Obviously, because they want Messi to win. But anyway, tomorrow's Express, this is tomorrow's Daily Express, is leading with Burnham is Labour's last chance. Oh, don't say that. I mean, Barry's right here, Oh, so that's really mean. That's really mean of them, that Barry. Anyway, on our panel this evening, we've got former Conservative MP Anna Firth. We've got broadcasting royalty Christo Fupas. The founder of the Together Declaration is Alan Miller. And we've got Labour's real last chance. It's Barry Gardner. Hey, brilliant. So, come on then, get ready, Britain. Here we go. I've got the answer to the Pakistani rape gang crisis next.
Good evening. It's just after 10 o'clock. Here are your latest GB News headlines. As you've just been hearing, Andy Burnham is the new leader of the Labour Party and is now just 3 days away from entering number 10.
That the duly elected leader of the Labour Party is Andy Burnham.
At a special conference in central London, Andy Burnham set out the first glimpse of what his premiership could look like. He promised a government focused on growth in every postcode, returning power to communities and creating a new Downing Street team in Manchester, also known as Number 10 North.
We can be that party, the party that puts more power in people's hands, drives good growth in every postcode and puts hope in every heart, that gets the country pulling together again and moves beyond the divisions of recent years, all people and all places, public and private sectors, in a new sense of unity and common cause. That's my mission as your new leader, to bring back hope.
Well, reacting to Mr Burnham's speech, the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, says he fears the government will lurch even further to the left.
I really question all this vacuous talk about devolution for its own sake, about power. He dares to talk about power being given away. What do you think membership of the European Union was? He wants to take us back even more closely to. I just wonder what the substance is, and I feel with him that the Labour Party, certainly the power of the backbenchers, will drag them even further to the left. And I can't see, the boats being solved. I can't see the debt crisis being solved. I can't see the economy turning around. I suspect he's going to have a very short honeymoon.
Well, also reacting to the future Prime Minister's speech, Liberal Democrat leader Sir Ed Davey says if Mr Burnham wants to deliver change, his door is always open.
Well, we hope that the new Prime Minister meets the changes that we need in our country. I think people are impatient for change. Mr Burnham has said he wants to do politics differently, and that's what we believe. We always argued that we need to get people around the table together working for the national interest and change our political system, which it really does need change. So if that's what he delivers, then my door is open.
The mother of Henry Novak's killer has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for removing a knife from the scene of the crime. 53-year-old Kieran Kaur was found guilty at Southampton Crown Court in May for assisting an offender. The prosecution told the court her role was crucial in removing the murder weapon from the scene of the crime, while her lawyers said that she acted out of instinctive desire to protect her child. And finally, legendary cricketer Sir Gary Sobers has died at the age of 89. Barbados-born Sobers, who is widely regarded as one of the finest cricketers of all time, played for the West Indies for 20 years, making his first Test appearance in 1954, against England, in fact. A statement on West Indies cricket official X account simply stated, "A great innings has come to an end." Well, those are your latest GB News headlines for now. I'm Lewis Mackenzie. Let's get you back to Patrick.
Tune in to GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB Digital Radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player, on Nation Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Welcome along, everybody. Thank you very much to everyone who has made the trip to be here. Look, I'll just say it. The Pakistani government can get lost. They are refusing to take back their rape gang ringleader, Shabir Ahmed, who was released from prison early under Labour. Now, he's found guilty of multiple counts of rape, aiding and abetting rape, sexual assault and the trafficking for the purposes of sexual exploitation against girls as young as 12 years old. He was sentenced to 22 years, served 14, he's back out and about. Now, he's been stripped of his British citizenship, but because of a loophole, he apparently can't be deported under Section 7 of the UK's Immigration Act 1971. Commonwealth citizens who arrived in the UK before January 1973 and resided there for at least 5 years before their deportation, and they are considered to be protected from removal. So basically, because of some kind of archaic law, we just can't get rid of this guy, supposedly. And the Pakistani government is refusing to take him back. So why not just stick him on one of these? Yeah, it's pretty easy, really, isn't it? Especially considering that we've now granted PIA, their airline, the opportunity to actually fly to and from Britain. This government lifted restrictions on Pakistani international airlines. I mean, really, it's a concession to the Pakistani government, isn't it? And they still won't have him back. We've even had sitting MPs in Britain lobbying for the building of a new airport in Mirpur in Pakistan, where actually many of the rape gang members came from.
I shared on social media the work I and colleagues across the two houses have been doing to urge the government of Pakistan to build an international airport at Mirpur.
That's in the British Parliament. You know, I went to that guy's constituency and walked around and showed people a picture of him and they just didn't know who he was. It's ridiculous. He's probably more famous in Mirpur. But we're set to give the Pakistanis £153 million in foreign aid this year. I mean, just don't. They've got nuclear weapons, for goodness sake. They can feed their own people. They can educate their own children. And don't come sticking your hand out to us after another natural disaster, frankly, when this is their government's response to the fact that yet another one of their citizens has raped a load of children in Britain. They've said this: Britain is to blame for his crimes. I mean, it's absolute rubbish, isn't it? Is Britain to blame for all of the other Pakistani rape gang members as well? For those who say, oh, we can't send him to Pakistan, what if he rapes people there? Well, I'm afraid to say he almost definitely won't, because that didn't seem to be the demographic of people that he went after, did it? Other grooming gang survivors have claimed in their testimony that Pakistani men targeted them because they were young white girls. Now, we've issued millions of visas to Pakistanis over the last decade or so, and we issue more family visas to Pakistanis than any other nationality. And yet Pakistani families are overrepresented when it comes to claiming benefits in Britain. This country and the British taxpayer has been unbelievably kind to the people of Pakistan, and I do think that their government needs to take back their child rapists. And if they don't, we could shove them on a military plane, fly them to Pakistan, drop them off, and just tell them to deal with it. Well, let's get the views of my panel on this, and we'll talk to the audience as well. Anna, look, what should we do with this guy?
Well, first of all, this guy is absolutely vile. He's raped at least 30 people, including a child as young as 12. So there is no question that this guy must be deported. And if we can't send him back to Pakistan, which is obviously where we should send him back, then we have to send him somewhere else. And that's why the Labour government should never have got rid of the Rwanda scheme. OK, I know you're going to say, oh, they wouldn't have wanted him. Well, of course they wouldn't, but we've given them enough money. We have, according to the Home Office figures, given 6,000 visas for humanitarian resettlement, over 3,000, as Patrick's just said, for family reunion. We've given 154 work visas, 227 student visas. That's over 9,000 visas that we've given, as well as the £153 million, which last year was £171 million. That should all stop unless they take this person back immediately.
It's also the fact that they have the brass neck to blame us for this. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of concessions that we've made to the Pakistani government over the years, especially since Labour came to power the last time around. There is someone who's got a question or a point to make in the audience, I believe. I'm not quite sure. Is it yourself? Oh, Gustav, what would you like to say on this then?
I would just like to say I don't think we should be sending any foreign aid to any countries. Obviously, we have people that don't have food and shelter, but that happens everywhere. There's an economic problem. Limited ones, finite resources, sorry. And we should be prioritising the people in our own country. When I have to pay so much money to go to uni, and, you know, my granddad fought for this country, why is the government not giving me money to be able to go to uni and giving it abroad to people that are then going to come here and rape girls like me?
Right. Well, it's strong stuff. It's a very, very fair point, I think, really. Again, it's the Pakistani government's attitude to this that really, really gets on my wick. And Alan, what's your views on the way that they've gone about, you know, not taking this guy back?
Well, so I think that they should, and they should. I think that we've got soft power and we've got sort of stronger power. I actually think we need a Doge across all of our institutions. So we get a Department of Government Efficiency, like they did very successfully in the States. I think that around foreign aid in particular, that should be done. I think we could do with cutting back almost entirely most of it. There is a thing, though, isn't there, right? This is reprehensible, and we've seen far too much of it, and we need to get control of our borders, and we need to deal with the issues that we're facing in our areas. He should have stayed in prison for longer, but the concurrent rules mean he didn't and was let out. But we've also got a situation which is he was 13 when he came, so technically, of course, he should go back because he's, apparently, what's he done? He's ripped up his passport. There is obviously evidence towards this. I think we can put pressure on them. But we've also got a problem that is here. I mean, they've got the death penalty in Pakistan. I mean, it often goes unreported. But we've got a problem here that we've really got to get to grips with. So even though they don't mean that entirely the way they're talking about it, we know we've got to deal with that. So, yes, I think he should. But I also think we've got to get much better at dealing with this across Britain.
OK, all right. And, I mean, when they say, Barry, that this is Britain's problem... I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't buy that because...
Alan's made a very good point that we have to get better at dealing with this, OK? And we all agree the guy's vile. We all agree that we don't want this guy in the country. But the majority of the rest of that gang did not come here under that scheme pre-1971 and all the rest of it. They were born here. They were born here. And that's where Alan's point absolutely bites. Because how is it that kids who were born in this country, grew up in this country, were then able to do those crimes? We can't send them back to Pakistan. They never came from Pakistan.
So they've got a passport, we can.
No, sorry. They never came from Pakistan. They don't have Pakistani passports. They've got British passports. They're born in Britain and they're British. Right? And yet we're focusing on the one that we think, well, we should send him back, and not on the rest, and saying, why has integration failed so badly that these British citizens have done this? Now, look, I want us to use all diplomatic channels that we can with Pakistan. And I actually think the better way of starting, and again, Alan made a very good point on this, there is soft power as well as hard power. And I think the big thing that Pakistan has benefited from are visas for people coming here.
Yes.
And I think that's actually the much more powerful tool that we have in this negotiation. It's to say, OK, this guy, and again, you're right, Alan, he's renounced his Pakistan citizenship, but he only did that after he had been, after we'd ripped up his British one and said, you're no longer a British citizen, right? But we can't, under the rules, deport him, under the law, deport him. Now, I think we need to engage in that diplomatic dialogue, but I think we need to go into that negotiation with a very powerful lever, and that powerful lever is the visas that we give to Pakistani citizens who want to come to this country.
OK. Just on that, I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's a mystery why so many British-born men of Pakistani heritage have been massively overrepresented when it comes to the grooming gang issue. You know, it's a very, very clan-style behaviour. There is a fundamental disregard and disrespect of young working-class white girls, and they are also not Muslim. So it's not a mystery, is it, as to why they...
No, but that is...
The police
I don't disagree with you.
But the reason why they've been able to get away with it for so long, Barry, is because, to be fair, people on the left have been calling people like me who talk it out Islamophobic, so people don't call it out.
No.
It absolutely is. I'm sick of it.
You're calling it out because the police did not do their job. The police...
And why didn't they do their job? Because they were afraid of being called Islamophobic. And that's
the reason they should have done their job, and that's the thing that needs investigating.
But then, Patrick, then what you're saying is actually we failed in our society to make sure that there was that proper integration, and for whatever reason, it doesn't matter whether it's wokeism, it's not...
No, Barry, they failed to integrate. Sorry, Barry, there's a difference there. We didn't fail to ensure integration. They failed to integrate. That's the difference. It's not on me. It's not on us. My family, my family came over from Cyprus. They integrated. We anglicised our surname. My real surname is not Christys, it's Christodoulou. When my dad's family came over here, they didn't feel as though they would fit in if they didn't change the surname. We integrated. Right? We weren't sitting there waiting, when's our integration class? I don't think you need an integration lesson to know that you shouldn't go around raping young working-class girls. I'm sorry, you don't. It's not on us to make them integrate. They should have integrated.
But the point is... agree it cuts both ways, but the point is here that actually those were kids. They were babies born here. They grew up here. They were part of our society, and if we did not make sure that that integration happened, then actually you can see why people are saying, it's your problem. You, Britain, failed those children. They grew up to become rapists.
No, but Barry, there is something called personal responsibility.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
Hold on. Okay.
As parents,
yes.
You know,
those parents should have taken responsibility, and the police let these girls down really badly.
I actually think that all of these things can be true at the same time. Okay, Pakistan smugly sort of saying that it's down to us is absolutely awful, but we have allowed this to happen. Not us, but the state has allowed this to happen. And the state has a role to play in this. And you're absolutely right. They have a role to play in the integration. You're absolutely right. You know, your family, my family didn't come in and think, right, we're gonna break the rules in this way and enact in the most horrific way. However, we were just talking about the burqa. How much have we allowed people who don't have the values that we have to get away with things in the name of tolerance, to get away with things that are too near the knuckle in the name of tolerance? How much have we allowed the fear of being called racist to cloud our view when it comes to investigating things? That's on the state. That is the responsibility of the state. Now, that doesn't take away from the person who did it. That doesn't mean they're any less vile or wrong, but the fact that they weren't investigated, the fact that this culture was allowed to happen, the fact that we have allowed other things to happen within those sorts of cultures that have meant that they can get away with things, that's on us. That's on the British state. So I'm afraid to say that we do bear a responsibility, and we have to stop this happening again. That doesn't mean that you or I or any of us should feel guilty about it. It's the failure of our leaders, and it is the failure of the people that scream Islamophobia every time you point out this kind of extremist behaviour. Now, just very quickly, why was he released? Why, when they knew he'd only done 14 out of a 22-year sentence, was he released, firstly? Why was he released without a plan of what you would do with him? Why is Pakistan still going to be getting foreign aid? You cancel that immediately. You cancel all existing visas from anyone who is supposed to be coming from Pakistan, anyone who is here already. You cancel Pakistan International Airlines from being able to come back to the UK. They've only just been allowed to because most of their pilots were moped drivers. They didn't even have proper pilot licences. That's why they lost their licence originally.
Add that to the suing list.
I mean, the word most, isn't it, there, that's really done it.
They've sorted it out now, but at the time, that was the concern as to why they lost their licence. So again, you would do that again, and if that's what happens if they don't play ball, because that is what it's there for. And if all else fails, on our way to Argentina, we invade.
Right. All right, on that note, we will draw under it.
Political realism triumphs again.
Again, I think that PIA would deny that most of their pilots were moped drivers, but there we go. Anyway, right, look, OK, we've got loads more to get through tonight. What do you want to talk about? Lord Khan. That's right, Sadiq Khan has been elevated into the House of Lords. Yeah, well, I've got an interesting clip, though, to play for you in a second or two of Sadiq Khan. I don't know, it didn't seem like he used to like the House of Lords that much until it became his pension fund. Anyway, time now, though, for the Great British Giveaway. And it's your chance to have a position in the House of Lords. No, not really. Not really. It's loads of cash, though. Here's Hayley Sparks.
We're celebrating a golden summer, as you could win a totally tax-free £60,000 in cash to spend on anything you like. Imagine all of the fun you could have this year with that. You could spend it on treats, save it for a rainy day, or give you the chance to chill out and relax on the perfect getaway. Plus, we're going to give you a £5,000 gold bar that you could keep, trade, or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. You really could be enjoying gold and £60,000 cash in our golden summer celebration.
For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
OK, all right, well, it's Lord Khan, everybody. You better get used to saying that. It's Lord Khan. It's already been Sir Sadiq, and now it's Lord Khan. The Mayor of London has been named as a peer in one of Sir Keir Starmer's final acts as Prime Minister. So get used to it. We're going to be seeing even more of Sadiq Khan. That's next.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christys tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories.
And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So, Lord Khan, get used to it. Yes, that's right. The Mayor of London has been named as a... Wow, interesting. That's just his family in here tonight, by the way. No. Yes, he's been named as a peer in one of Sir Keir Starmer's final acts as Prime Minister. Sir Sadiq, as he's always wanted to be a Lord.
That exchange between Sean Bailey and myself is proof, if it was ever needed, that we should abolish the House of Lords.
Oh, no, sorry, it's the opposite. He wanted to abolish the House of Lords. Oh, right. Well, at least he's being recognised for his work on tackling things like what we were talking about before, grooming gangs in London.
Gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford and lots of other places in the country.
Just for your misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that.
Sir Sadiq did tell GB News today, though, that he does not want a role in Andy Burnham's government. But he did previously say he didn't want to be in the House of Lords either, didn't he? So, you know, swings and roundabouts, I suppose. Right, well, what do you make, Anna, of Lord Khan?
I mean, it's absolutely appalling. I mean, what has he done for London? Does anyone think that London's any better now than it was 10 years ago? Crime's gone up. If you're a motorist, it's an absolute nightmare. Transport costs have gone up if they're not delayed. I mean, if you're walking along with your phone, there's a chance that someone will ride along and snatch it. I think he is an absolute disaster. I particularly hate what he's done with this 20 mph limit.
20 miles an hour.
20 miles an hour limit, because I have been caught by that on a couple
Right, I
of
see. There you go. There you go. That's it.
I think it is a particularly pernicious, unnecessary restriction on motorists. Average house prices in London are higher than pretty much anywhere else in Europe. Rents are going up. Affordable housing targets have not been met. What has he actually done? In my opinion, nothing. And that clip that we saw about Lord Bailey. So it turns out, obviously, that he didn't believe what he was saying then. In other words, that was pure bitterness about Lord Bailey getting a peerage. So I think he's appalling.
All right. Christo.
I think that Sadiq Khan is the most loathsome, far-left failure of a mayor that we have ever had in this city. He is the most repellent runt of a man, and I will tell you why I think that. He has failed when it's come to house building. He's failed when it's come to crime against the person. He has failed when it's come to congestion in London. There is now slower traffic than ever, and there are cycle lanes that aren't used absolutely everywhere. He's restricted freedoms for people to get around this city. There have been strikes on the underground, far right, left and centre, even though he promised there would be absolutely none. Rents are the highest that they've ever been in history. He produces report after report from colleges and institutions that TfL funds through grants to say what a brilliant job he's doing. He extended the ultra-low emission zone to places in outer London which don't have access to public transport, when his own impact report said that it would have no difference to air quality whatsoever. He is a complete failure, and the idea of him becoming a lord is the precise problem we have with politics nowadays. He should not be a lord. He should be, I don't know where he should be, but he shouldn't be anywhere near politics. I think he's awful.
Well, so I imagine, Barry, that you might want to push back quite strongly on the idea that he is, I need to be careful, a repellent little runt.
I didn't say little, I just said repellent runt.
Right, OK, yes.
Patrick, you know me, I just like to push back on the facts, OK? The facts are that violent crime in London is down to record levels. The facts are that the capital's air quality is cleaner by 40% than it was previously. The facts are that he's delivered the Elizabeth line, if you're wanting to talk about...
He did not deliver the Elizabeth line. It was 2.5 years late. It was billions over budget on his watch, and he didn't even commission it.
Has it happened?
What it happened? Yes, it was planned before he became mayor, so he can't take credit for it. OK, well, the moon landings happened. Well done, Sadiq Khan. The moon landings. Well done, you.
They happened on his watch, Christo. And actually, London is now building council homes again. But look, I really struggle to know why it is that people seem to dislike Sadiq Khan. Yeah, I do live in London, but it seems to me that Christo has a particular dislike for him.
No, I have a very big dislike for him as well.
Yeah, but on what basis?
The basis that he has brought London to a halt with his congestion charge.
I'm sorry, it's just not true.
With the 20-mile-an-hour neighbourhood limit.
Can I just point out,
Barry,
actually, in 1909, the average speed in London with horse-drawn carriage was 9 miles an hour.
Come on.
And today,
that's really comparing apples and pears.
It is still 9 miles an hour. So honestly, it has been 9 miles an hour forever and a day.
The threshold is the horse-drawn carriage that we're comparing. And violent crime against the person is up 7.3% year on year. The only thing he's brought down is the murder rate, which, I'm sorry, I like to think think we have a higher standard of judging someone's success than us not being murdered.
Okay. All right. Well, OK, quite. We're going to go to the audience now. We're going to go to Amy, and Amy's been on a couple of times before, and Amy does use a machine to help articulate herself. So, Amy, over to you.
Khan definitely doesn't deserve a peerage. It's a disgrace that he has got one. I believe he has made London unrecognisable by accommodating to a religion which isn't Britain's national faith. Also, in many areas of the city, the streets are filled with shops which look like they belong in another country, something which is happening everywhere. Those who receive a peerage should endorse British culture and traditions. However, Khan has done the complete opposite and even changed our traditions in the name of inclusive and diversity. For example, how he made London events wish people happy holidays last year rather than a Merry Christmas. Also, let's forget he has been completely divisive and unpleasant at times. The guy should step down from being mayor, never mind get a peerage.
Strong stuff. Alan, then we'll give Barry the final say on this. But yeah, Alan, I mean, the obviously what Amy said there, but yeah, just on the idea that I fail to see how Sadiq Khan is not going to end up using the fact that he's in the House of Lords as a way of ending up in Andy Burnham's cabinet.
Oh, well, I think there are lots of problems. They've already been articulated, some of them, and I do think that when we hear about the good success rates, we do need to look at a whole range of issues. If you actually think about some of the things, the overall knife offences are at an all-time high, 16,000, 20,000 and 24 to 25. That's up significantly from pre-2016 levels. We've also got a situation that we've got a situation where theft and robbery and personal effects have also increased substantially. We've got a situation where now retail often don't even report to the police because they don't come out when they get there. People don't feel safe. This is a real big problem. People don't wear watches in some of the best roads that we have in London, as well as women with jewellery. It's a real issue. On top of that, we've got a situation that we've talked about traffic. Barry jumped from horse-drawn carts to now. There was a time where transportation and infrastructure and investment was a big part of the dynamic wealth creation in Britain and internationally. What we've seen is junk science. We actually saw Shirley Rodriguez, his deputy, interfere with Imperial College when we're told follow the science by some people. And we've seen that the ULEZ programme, spurious claims that has been debunked about air quality. Actually, the air quality in the underground's worse than it is out here. We've got great metrics with air quality, and it's been used to suffocate drivers and have a war on cars and a war on the public. Alongside that, there's gaslighting, like, what does she mean about these grooming gangs? There's a contempt for the public, a contempt for democratic engagement, like there was around ULEZ. You're not the right type of respondents. Across the board, we've seen this, a disdain that I must say is reflected in this government as well, and people are fed up of it.
All right, okay. But I think we can all agree that apart from that, he's done a very good job. Look, a government source did tell The Guardian that Sadiq has been a brilliant mayor who has transformed London for the better, as this is thoroughly deserved, his honour. He has cut violent crime to record lows. He's cleaned up the capital. Barry, did you write this? No, anyway, he's cleaned up the capital's area. He's delivered the Elizabeth line. Yeah, he got London building council homes again. A mayor of London spokesperson previously told GBNews.
I stand vindicated.
You stand well. There you go.
Look, can I just
very quickly, mate?
If we're talking about who should be in the House of Lords, okay, Sadiq's somebody who has served this country both in Parliament and as mayor of London, and you know. You've got somebody like Baroness Mone in the House of Lords that you lot put in there. MedPro was awarded £200 million contract during COVID. The PPE didn't bloody well work, and the company walked away with 60 million in profit. That's not the sort of person I want to see in the House of Lords. I want to see in the House of Lords
Two wrongs don't make a right, Barry.
Somebody who serves the country and tries their best to improve the lives of people.
OK, all right. Well, look, yeah, just quickly, sorry, on the... because obviously we played the clip of Sadiq Khan with Susan Hall there. The mayor wants justice for every single victim of these horrific crimes. The mayor is clear that the Met must follow the evidence to ensure it does everything possible to tackle all child sex sexual exploitation in the capital, including grooming gangs, to build a safer London. And of course, he does describe himself, by the way, as well as a proud Englishman. We must always be on our guard against those who so-called patriots, he says. It seems to be less about love of our country and more about the hatred and exclusion of others. That's his, I think, probably a record 3 rights of replies from one single man in a section there, so well done, Sadiq Khan. Anyway, next, a family has arrived from Gaza. Well, one woman arrived from Gaza, and then she brought 17 members of her family with her. Is this really okay? We'll talk about that when we come back.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Loads of sunshine around the Mediterranean at the moment. The heat's really focused across Italy, but we are going to see temperatures rising in Spain once more next week. Pretty hot and sunny across most of the Greek islands currently too. There's that hot sunshine across Italy. Small chance of 1 or 2 isolated thundery showers across the far north. Sunny skies for most of Spain. Sunny spells for the Canaries as well. The temperatures will be dipping a little bit in Rome over the next few days, but plenty more sunshine to come.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hi there, welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. A very pleasant, dry, sunny and warm weekend to come, but a little more cloud at times and certainly a cooler feel. We're going to notice that, especially where we've seen temperatures into the high 20s, 30, 31 Celsius during recent days. Those temperatures down a few degrees because high pressure drifting out to the northwest will drag in something a little fresher from the north and the east. It's already happening across northern Scotland, eastern England. A lot of low clouds, some light showers, and that fresh breeze noticeable overnight. In fact, temperatures in some sheltered parts of Scotland dipping well into the single figures overnight. We'll keep the warmth for Wales, west and south parts of England. So a warm start here first thing, temperatures rising through the morning, but not to the same degree as recent days. Northern Scotland keeps the cloud during the morning, further light showers coming in on that stiff breeze, but coming to the central belt, south and southwest of Scotland and much of Northern Ireland away from the north coast, and it's sunny skies once again. More extensive cloud for northern and eastern England. That's going to take a bit longer to lift and break through the morning compared with recent mornings, but plenty of sunshine for many parts of Wales, central southern and southwest England. In fact, it's towards the south and southwest where we'll see the best of the sunshine, also parts of central Scotland. Otherwise, a bit more cloud in the sky through the afternoon, certainly through the Midlands, parts of Wales, the east and north coast. And a cooler feel, that's the most notable thing. Rather than 30 Celsius, we'll see highs of 27 Celsius and more widely low to mid-20s. So more comfortable for sleeping this weekend. I think quite a chilly start in places on Sunday night, a Sunday morning I should say, especially across parts of Scotland. Otherwise, actually less cloud around on Sunday, plenty of blue skies, dry for the vast majority. We keep the dry theme into next week. A bit of cloud around at times, but no discernible rainfall in the forecast.
From cold mornings
to warm family brunches.
From football to tennis in the car.
In the kitchen.
GB News Breakfast is there. With the stories you need and the conversations that matter.
Anyway, let's talk business.
Well, it has been a historic night in British politics.
It's astonishing, isn't it? We're here again to start your day just right. GB News Breakfast.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
welcome back, everybody. So, a family of 18 from Gaza has won the right to come to Britain under, you guessed it, the ECHR. A Gazan mother of 3 who had arrived in the UK as a refugee was refused permission to bring her extended family by the Home Office, but an immigration tribunal overturned that decision, citing the breaching of her right to a family life. The woman's extended family includes her parents, a brother, his wife and 4 children, a sister, her 4 children, and another sister, her husband, and their 3 children. So, will this case open the floodgates to more abuse of the system? And this is genuinely one of the most, in a competitive field, one of the most insane cases. Alan?
It totally is. It reflects the fact that we've got a stranglehold and, you know, we've got a situation where we had Brexit and people wanted to do that so we could get control of sovereignty and decision-making, and yet we get a plethora of lawyers who are constantly, when democratically elected politicians are trying to do something, don't let them do it. We've seen this happen before. And now we're seeing it in this government. And frankly, the British public are fed up of this, right? The idea that the lower tribunal makes the decision and then the upper tribunal goes back to it and then you can't implement this. And then we have a situation where, you know, 17 more people are coming into this country who are all going to be requiring to have payments and more benefits, and it's outrageous. When we've got millions of people on benefits already and we need to transform our situation, we've got big concerns about migration and also about the things we've been talking about all night, culture. The idea that this has happened is abhorrent. We've got to get rid of the ECHR. As it happens, there's a number of other things we've got to deal with as well. That's got to happen. This has got to stop.
All right, OK. There's a lady on the front row. Hello, what would you like to say?
Well, before I broke my leg, I was a nurse for 24 years, worked in Birmingham in a very, very big, famous hospital there. And it was around 2012 when Bulgaria joined the EU.
Yeah.
And I was on a shift and family came through, husband and wife. And had one bay. Then the next bay was another Bulgarian family, and it basically took over the whole department.
Right.
And it was, they were all related. They were all got something wrong with them. They were all got serious, heart conditions, stomach conditions.
Okay.
And what my question is, on this paper it says, do you think that allowing 18 Gazan relatives into the UK risk opening the floodgates? When I've just said that to you, do you think that the floodgates are already open and have been?
I see the point you're making. Yeah,
I know I'm coming from a different angle with it being the EU.
Yeah, it's the idea that we weren't running a particularly tight ship to begin with. I know, I get that, I do. Yeah, I mean, quite possibly, really. I mean, but I'll come to you on this just because even you, Barry, cannot surely think you should have been allowed to bring 17 relatives.
Let me... I don't know about this 18 case.
She's the 18.
Well, the case that I checked, which was the 17 case, in fact was a family of 6 from Gaza. Let me be clear. There is no specific visa route to come from Gaza. And what the Home Office had said to people was, if there's no specific route, you should use whichever is the closest approximation. And they used what was the Ukrainian family scheme application form. And that's why it was refused in the first instance. The 17 was actually hypothetical. It was, well, what if there were 17? And that then caught on in the press. It was actually a family of 6, husband, wife, and 4 children, and the husband was the brother of a British citizen who applied for them.
I think we might be talking about different cases.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know about the 18 one, but this was the one that generated the 17. Now, the upper tribunal then said that they were allowed under Article 8, which is the human rights family reunion under Article 8.
But should it happen? Barry, really, realistically, come on, you can't expect to come to a country and bring, like, whether it's 17, 18, 10 relatives with you, realistically.
I think that's why the government had not established a route for Gaza. They used the process in that way, and it is something that the government now needs to look at as to whether there should be a route, because let's remember the family were in the Al-Mawasi supposedly humanitarian zone, and the reason that the judges at the upper tier tribunal said that they should be allowed that was because the conditions in that camp were so appalling that they said they should allow family reunion.
The slight problem there is that we could apply to anyone, really, I suppose, in that sense. But right, look, when we come back, we've got to do Greatest Britain Union Jackass. I'm sorry, but we're out of time. We're going to do Greatest Britain Union Jackass, so you get to vote for your Greatest Britain Union Jackass. That's next. That's next. All right.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
What do you think about where we're going to get our future athletes and our Olympians from when we're telling our children, oh, you can't go out and partake in sports today because it's a bit hot?
It's a bit hot, yeah. I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, you're absolutely right. And, not only are we cancelling sports days in some schools, and you said, have to. No, they don't have to. This is the choice that the schools are making, and the heads are making. So my granddaughter's school, I've just done the school run this morning. They're not cancelling their sports day. They're just being sensible. Why not move it to the morning? I've just dropped her off now. It's 17 degrees. So they're perfectly capable of running at 9 o'clock in the morning instead of 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's lots of ways that they could think outside of the box and do this. I mean, Labour is just about to cut 22% from the sports budget as well.
GB News, the People's Channel. Dubes & Co. Weekdays from 6 p.m.
Industrial action in the 70s, all of that is part of the culture of that great town, and it's something that reflects a lot about the rest of us.
Right, but the word culture does not...
It doesn't mean opera.
That's history.
Yeah.
That's the history of the town. How is this money spent? Whose money is it, right? I presume it's taxpayers' money, i.e. my money anyway, and if you pay tax, Susie, that will
I do pay a bit, Kelvin.
Okay.
Yeah. Not as much as you, I'm sure.
But how much do we spend on the City of Culture for Hull? Do you know?
Well, look, so these shortlisted towns, they will receive £60,000 each to develop their full bids. Apparently, it's about restoring pride in local areas. They want to deliver a decade of national renewal. They want to shine a light on local visions and voices, they say, from across the UK.
GB News, the People's Channel. Britain's newsroom. Weekday mornings from 9:30.
So you go along to the car showroom and only like 10% at most, maybe 15 pay cash. The rest buy on some form of financing. And you often buy, it's a bit like a mortgage, and it's like buying a mortgage from the estate agent, which we all know is a terribly bad idea. Yeah. But this is what people did. And the deal is, the scandal is, the guys in the showroom were acting as dealers and brokers, and they were in many cases inflating the interest rate that you paid so that they could get a bigger commission. And they didn't declare that. So you basically ended up paying more for your car than you would otherwise have done if you'd gone into the open market and found yourself, a better deal.
How did that come to light?
Well, over many years. I mean, this has been going on since 2007.
GB News, the People's Channel.
All right, thank you very much, everybody, for coming tonight. There's so many of you. It's great to see you. Let's just round us off with Greatest Britain, Union Jackass, and we're going to start with Greatest Britain, OK? Christo, who is your Greatest Britain?
Well, ahead of her headlining the half-time show of the World Cup tomorrow.
Not again.
Not again.
Not again.
Into her career. career. She has just released her 15th studio album, which has gone to number one in the charts. It's the most critically acclaimed album of her career. It's showing that...
All right, we move on. It's Madonna. He loves Madonna. We get it.
The Queen of Pop, Madonna.
OK, Alan, who's your greatest Briton?
Alison Pearson, for being a consistent, lifelong warrior for free speech, making me laugh and cry in her beautiful testimony for Anne Widdecombe, and also upholding the spirit of freedom of speech for even when people are saying reprehensible things.
All right, OK. Barry, quickly, mate.
This is a strange one. It's actually GB News' own security correspondent, Mark White. And the reason I'm saying that is because he was asked about what was going on in small boats. And he said, we have to be honest and say the numbers are down. Part of me would accept some of this smash the gangs policy is having an effect.
OK.
So for
I know, Barry, we've got to go.
Very good.
I know, sorry, you've got about 10 seconds here, but it's an important one. Go on, go on.
Anne Widdecombe is my greatest Briton. She came to Southend, huge fan of Sir David Amis, and unveiled his statue for me 2 years ago. She was such a warrior for free speech. We're such a loss to have lost.
I'm gonna give it to Anne Widdecombe. Yeah, absolutely. Look, thank you very much, everybody, for coming. We've got all tomorrow's newspaper front pages to come. Thank you again. I'll see you in a second for the front pages. All right. Thank you.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hi there, welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. A very pleasant, dry, sunny and warm weekend to come, but a little more cloud at times and certainly a cooler feel. We're going to notice that, especially where we've seen temperatures into the high 20s, 30, 31 Celsius during recent days. Those temperatures down a few degrees because high pressure drifting out to the northwest will drag in something a little fresher from the north and the east. It's already happening across northern Scotland, eastern England. A lot of low clouds, some light showers, and that fresh breeze noticeable overnight. In fact, temperatures in some sheltered parts of Scotland dipping well into the single figures overnight. We'll keep the warmth for Wales, west and south